Ferguson once again with Ferguson Gallery, FergusonGallery.com. I'm doing a crystal ashtray for a client, and this is a piece of hand-blown crystal, and we put they wanted the Sparkle Lounge etched onto their ashtray, which you can see there. They kind of wanted a contemporary cutting, engraving of the lettering, and then I had to just cut in the grooves to hold the cigarettes. Everything's gray and will be all highly polished like a diamond. Now I'm starting to do a cut glass design onto the bottom of it. You can see the wheel touching the glass. Called a punny cut. It's round, kind of gives you a fisheye lens view, and this is why they call it hand cut crystal, because most people, when they do something with a lathe, they fix the material into the lathe and then bring a tool to the material. With hand cut glass, you basically are holding the glass with your hand and then bringing the glass to the wheel. So this is the first cut I made. You can see it's round, but it's gray. When I polish this with some different wheels, it'll basically sparkle like a diamond. And I did some grinding on the bottom of this. I have to also polish that. I'm going to make this a little bigger. This is going to be really cool when you're looking through the design, when you look through the edge of the ashtray. You're going to be able to see that design like all across the bottom. I'm going to turn this up a little bit and change the direction. So when you see crystal at a friend's house or in galleries or stores, this is hand cut. This is basically how it's done. And like I say, this is the first step in a multi-step process. And this is a very free-form design. I don't mark it down on the glass or anything. I just start cutting and have some fun with it. Website, which is, like I say, is FergusonGallery.com. You'll see a lot of cut glass crystal pieces, sculptures. Oh gosh, I've done all kinds of things with glass. Made buildings out of glass, footballs, race cars, blimps. We'll be doing a crystal building. One of my favorite building jobs was the Renaissance Center up in Detroit out of crystal. That was 5 buildings. Keyport Bank, which is in headquarters in Cleveland. I've made that out of crystal before. They're very time-consuming projects. Is to get it nice and round. I was taught how to do crystal cutting by a master glass cutter who was born in 1892. His name was Walter Langen. in this country. When I started working with him, that was alive from the brilliant period of cut glass, which was from about 1880 to 1920. And that's when, believe it or not, we made a lot of crystal in this country. As a matter of fact, a lot of the American crystal is considered to be some of the best that was ever made in the world. I live in Ohio, and by the beautiful Lake Erie Islands. If you've never been here, you need to come here because it's fascinating. But anyways, just an hour west of where I'm at is where Libby Glass was. And that was Mr. Libby, of course, owned that. And he was probably the largest producer of cut glass in America. And that's where the Toledo Museum of Art is. And they blow glass there to this day and everything. And it's a fascinating place to see if you like glass work. I'm lucky enough to have a piece of my work in the museum. Donated by a very good friend of mine. It's in their permanent collection, so that was quite an honor. I did a little deal here where I overlapped two of these. Just to guide me. The bad thing about it is you can grind your fingers up a little bit, your fingernails. So I do a series of these round cuts, and then I take a different wheel and put straight lines on. Trying to figure out where I want to put the next one. I think I'll just put it over here. Most designs on crystal would be marked. Same thing all the way around. This, like I say, this is kind of a free-form design, which I like doing free-form stuff.